All right, guys, welcome. This is JD, the mobile trader, coming to you on the Mobile Trader Network. Today is Sunday, January 10th, 2021, the year of COVID AD or AC after COVID, but it's still here. But anyway, guys, thanks for coming out. This is the Mobile Trader Mastermind group. We're getting going today and just have some good, it's going to be a great session, guys. I'm glad you're in here. First thing I want to do, the book that I had going in I guess in the pre mastermind was the Secret Jewish Law of Attraction by Rabbi Chaim Abraham. Anyway, just really good information, just a good flow, and just give me 1 second. 1 second. Let's see here, and we'll get rolling. Okay, guys. Anything you guys need to work on that you need to focus on, guys? Because the thing that I was looking at and the law of attraction is big in my mind. And sometimes we don't ask for what we want and what we need. Well, I say want what we, there's a thin line. There's a thin line. But when we come into trading and investing and things like that, we're trying to figure it out. And we're trying to figure it out with in real talk without just spinning a grip. But sometimes we'll spend a grip in the market before we go and get expertise but what I'm noticing with most of our most of us, we're putting that sweat equity into reading, looking at YouTube videos, audible audio books. So I, I think the future's bright. I really feel the future's bright because when I look and I see posts about, hey, I'm in plug, or one of my college teammates will hit me back, hey, what's up with NIO? Just out of the blue. And but it's not like he's coming out of the blue. He's researched it, or one of my son's classmates, she was talking about Intel or looking at different stocks. And I want us to hone and really sharpen our countenance, but also sharpen our ability to select and pick stocks. And then the next move, what I want us to focus on, guys, and remember this, what we're going to talk about today, uh, these are not buy, sell, or hold recommendations, but if I'm putting it out there, most of it, I'm putting skin in the game. So you can't match up with me. I can't match up with you because we don't know each other's personal circumstances. So this is one thing that you want to write down, want to keep in mind. When you begin trading or investing, the first thing we want to do is establish our time horizon, investment time horizon, and it catches everyone. Like let's say you wanted to get in Bitcoin, or you getting Bitcoin right when it hits its peak and it sells off. But let's say you were getting into Bitcoin around Thanksgiving. Big Mama gave you, instead of giving you, the baby some gifts, said, I'm gonna give you all, I had some money put away. I want y'all to put this in, put that in that cryptocurrency. And Thanksgiving rolls around, you put it in Bitcoin around Thanksgiving, and let's say this is 2018 and it sells off at Thanksgiving. It goes off from the highs and it goes off, 50% pullback. You're thinking you're going to get it out at Christmas. Well, we have to have a realistic investment time horizon, guys. We need to know our stocks, know the stocks that we're in. And one of the things that I use technical analysis. I use also a hybrid fundamental analysis along with Investors Business Daily, the Can Slim. So there's different ways to do it. Just before we go forward, if someone gives you not a stock pick, but like say, hey, I'm getting in this stock, and it doesn't work out and you lose money, oh, it's on us. We're people. All my teammates at Grambling used to say, "Oh, you're a grown man. That's a grown man. I'm a man," and or that's a grown woman. Basically, the idea is that we are responsible for our own decisions. But now if you're coerced into moving into a position, that's a different story. But now, what we want to do also, guys, you need to know what your risk tolerance is. what your risk parameters. And one rule of thumb is this: let's say you have $10,000. You want to risk no more than 2% of your account balance per trade or per, like, let's say if I want to take a buy a NIO option on Monday and I have 10 G's, and you don't have to spend the entire 10,000. You can buy an option for, let's say you buy an option that costs $500. And so 10,000, 2% of that, $200. That's as far as I can go. So I can buy the option at 500, but I can set my parameters to where if it falls to the $200 threshold where I've lost $200 of that 500, there's a trigger that gets me out, give or take. There might be a little bit of fluctuation, but that's how you set. That's how we set parameters, risk reward, and it keeps us alive in the game. That's the entire. That's how it is. My preference is if you're new to the market, the long term buy and hold strategy is time tested, and markets like to go up over the long haul. Now, over the short term, you're going to have price swings. You're going to have different ebbs and flows and spikes and rips and dips, and but over the long haul. So, for instance, if you're looking at Tesla, like right now, Tesla's a lot of bit overextended. This is a weekly chart. We're looking at that chart. I had my bull case, my target area was 736 to 765. It's blown through that. You know, I called it out around 414 and hopped in and made that. That was the first retirement play that I was like, okay, when things line up and the stars align, guys, we have to be prepared to identify and put the gas, press the pedal to the floor. Now, that's when you have confidence in your setup and you have a lot of risk reward parameters in place. But here's what I want to talk about starting off as we get going. That was my little intro. Um, the weekend spotlight, guys, is a tragedy with Boeing, man. That in Indonesia, the flight went down. Prayers to those families. That is unbelievably horrible situation. We'll pull up their chart. Boeing was at a stage where it was garnering interest on my part as well as my business partner's part. I don't even know how to say it. My boy's part, Mo Jacks, and we had talked about Boeing. I heard him mention it, and I had been shorting Boeing since I'll show you right here, since the first crashes, that terrible, with the Indonesian, not Indonesian, Malaysian or Ethiopian flights, and it just, people were not, they were saying, oh, it's too big to fail. But there's a thing about this, guys. If you can go long term investing, you can also be a trader. You can do it all. You can do both. You don't have to just be a one stop or one size fits all individual. When it was up at its peaks, I started shorting, and then I finally caught me a move down here. And then, but the point is, guys, it found somewhat of a base of a bottom, and it started to come back, and it ran into a level of, how many of you guys familiar with support and resistance? I know a lot of people in the group, in the stock scouts and in my Telegram group are very, very familiar with support and resistance. So this is when you pick up on support and resistance, and you have to mark it up on the charts. You can use the weekly chart, the daily chart. You can write this down, guys. These are key charts for me and many traders, and then you can kind of develop your own flow. Weekly, daily, get the 4 hour, hour. Then you can drop down to 30, and then you can go a little bit, become more granular. But if we look here, Boeing was in a kind of a broad bear channel down to the downside. It came down like on the 30th of October, 2nd of November, and found like a bull flag, found support, gapped up, and ran, and it hit this level of resistance that I had drawn up. This is like a supply area, but it was also a gap that we were looking for it to be filled, and it failed. So the idea is that, okay, there's always a catalyst, but then the charts will be set up for a catalyst to push something forward. The catalyst is the straw that breaks the camel's back. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm venturing to say that this was set up for a reversal already, and then this flight, the crash happens over the weekend. I could see a sell off. I could see down to 187. Now this isn't, guys, this isn't a guarantee of where it's going, because we have a gap right here between 187 and what's the low? 191.35. So there's a gap filled that could possibly come 187.27 for Boeing. I'm gonna write this down, guys. And but then there's a secondary gap, a larger gap, if you can see it on the screen. Let me zoom in for you. This is a gap in price, guys, where it closes one day and you see kind of continuity flow. Then all of a sudden you just see a gap. Just there's nothing there. There's no trading action. A lot of times price will come back and maybe you see a wick, you'll see a candle come back, and it'll fill that gap in and bring the continuity back. It's not a guarantee, but it's an adage that says all gaps must be filled. And if we look on a lot of charts, you see where price will come down and literally fill a gap, but you get this catalyst, and we may see the catalyst break this level right here, guys. If it falls below the short entry for Boeing tomorrow, let me put this down, is the low of 204.60, because the reason I'm saying that on the daily, to be careful, to be cautious, because who knows how the sentiment's going to be of that. But I feel it's a negative sentiment. That's that's the cautionary entry. We could get in before that. I mean, you could enter really at the low of 208.16. But the safe play is to fall below this previous candle that had a little volume on it. Let me add the volume chart. So just and guys, I probably won't be able to repeat everything. So hopefully, if you're gonna take notes, I'm gonna give you uh, price levels here and there, but please conduct your own due diligence and really, don't get caught into a trade off of a recommendation on Facebook or wherever, and then don't put the post up, hey guys, I'm in this trade, such and such XYZ, I'm down or I'm up, what do I do? Don't put that post out there. You don't know who's going to give you the answer. You want to have that answer established prior to getting in that trade. If I get down, like how we established the risk reward or the parameters prior to, if I get down $400 or 150, or if I'm down $70, I'm the hell out of there. That kind of thing. And that's perfect. That's fine. Establish before you click buy. Now, we fall below that level right here, 208.16. That was last week's low, but preferably we fall below 204.60. It really has a chance to fall and possibly fill that gap down to 187. So it might, when the futures open overnight, it might gap down heavily. So we'll just see. We'll watch the news. Okay. But if you're trying to go long Boeing right now, this isn't the time to go long. You want to wait for Boeing to, oh my goodness, man. I really think you can, if you're looking out, set your time horizon 5, 10, 15, even 20 years. And then these little ebbs and flows won't be as pronounced or worrisome to you. And you could get in at different levels and you kind of average in, or dollar cost average, or whatever you need to do. You can look that up. Uh, but be careful, because the gap fill down to that 158.47 is that's a possibility. Okay. Yeah, Boeing sounds, it definitely it feels right for puts, Russell. Uh, is I want to make sure that's why I was giving you guys those entries. Like if it falls below those levels, that's when puts come into play. And I think the puts are going to be pricey, you know, that so just be prepared and to get in and get out or watch it and let it run. Next play, guys. Now, Boeing is a long-term watch for me. But this tragedy may be that catalyst, like Russell just mentioned, for those puts. But exercise caution because Boeing, you get the negative news, and all of a sudden, late in the afternoon, CNBC, Phil LeBeau comes on and says Boeing's deliveries for the 737 Max, blah blah blah. The vaccine is works for the the new variant, and blah blah blah, and new flight, and it'll flip right back up, or you don't get the news and it runs down where we're talking about, and you make a nice amount of money. Um, Next one, guys, we have earnings season kind of kicking off the end of next week. J.P. Morgan, uh, Citigroup, Delta, Taiwan Semiconductor. If you're in any of those trades, kind of be aware of those days on Thursday for earnings, because you have an earnings event that can skew the market, or it can skew um, your price chart. So let's see real quick. The next one. Okay, EV, electric vehicles. JP Morgan has had put a price target of below 100 on Tesla, and it still has that. And people were trying to figure out um, what the deal was. Was it a personal issue? I mean, and I've seen some things on Twitter, and it's worth kind of looking into. Is that J.P. Morgan is really? I think they were the underwriters on countless legacy automakers. You know, ICE companies, internal combustion engines. So it's almost like they're caught in the mix, and so be you know kind of watch the analyst advice or analyst upgrades this upcoming week, because analysts are kind of flipping. They were very negative on Tesla, and they're slowly um, kind of flipping to the positive side right now. We're going to get into Tesla a little bit later, but kind of watch the analyst upgrades and downgrades and the price targets for Tesla, because you're seeing like the high eights, you're seeing 1,000, 1,100, and it doesn't mean it's going to happen on Monday, but just kind of pay attention to that, guys. Um, Now, remember, you don't have to be stuck in a trade if if it goes against you, if it's not setting up how you want it. Just because you said, "Oh, I think I'm bullish. I think Tesla's going to go up," and then something triggers where it doesn't play out properly. Either you can exit the trade and you can go short, but not in theory. You don't want to go short against just a steamroller. But the point is, we reserve the right to change our minds, guys. That's just that's just how it is. So um, I want you guys to look up a couple of things like sector rotation. When you see money leaving a particular sector, maybe the tech sector gets hit really hard. That money's going somewhere. Most recently, it's probably been going to Bitcoin, been going off into Tesla, in the plug, uh, hopping up in NIO. So we try to figure out where the routes are, and you try to hop in accordingly. I want us to look at Tesla and NIO for the upcoming for this trade this week, guys. I've been thinking a lot about it. The play, I love Tesla. Tesla is very extended. I'm going to show you the candle that it's called a climactic. It can be a climactic flag candle, or just a climactic candle, or a final flag. Uh, it Tesla's, but you don't want to short it, because we don't know when. You go long until it shows you otherwise, that you need to go that that you need to change your sentiment. Um, and and thing about it, Tesla's created several gaps, but they don't have to be filled right away. But I think we have earnings coming up on possibly estimated on the 27th, between January 27th and February 1st or 2nd. So we're going to have some volume anomalies coming into play. So guys, look at the chart on Tesla. This daily chart is a power move, but this is the indicator that I use at the bottom. It's the RSI. I use the RSI, the relative strength index. You can look that one up, guys. You can type it in Google, RSI, relative strength index. Kind of lets me know when it's above 70, we're overbought. That kind of recognizes that, hey, we're getting to a point of like possible exhaustion. And when you have a run from like this level from 455 up to 860 or 880, you can come into the point where the largest candles after that run kind of are happening at the end of this, with the exception of this candle right here on the 10th of December. These are like final climactic candles, but it can keep going. But I mean, you're preparing for exhaustion and a pullback to consolidation. Now, if I look on the weekly, guys, I want you to be very careful. That's the climactic candle. We're coming out of a final flag, you know. But so that I'm very cautious about going long Tesla on a trade this week. But if we go a little bit deeper, we can start seeing where it's rolling over. It started to roll. Now look at the RSI down at the bottom. We're above 70, well above 70. It changes on each time frame. RSI, it reflects the time frame that you're on. It started to roll over after hours. It got down to 865. So we're going to see if it fills this gap down to, you write it down, the high 834.72. Now this isn't the entry. That's just the gap fill and an after hours gap fill that we need. 834.72. And this is how you mark it up, guys. Let me put that right there. I'm gonna put it right below 835. Okay, 4 hours rolling over. We go to the hourly. The hourly is showing even more signs of that pullback, to where we kind of had a somewhat of a topping pattern or a stall out right here in this area. These ranges right here were kind of like, okay, that's levels of resistance. Let me remove this. So the high was right here. And you have to mark your charts up, guys, if you're going to try to trade. At 84.89, that was the high. And that was a level of resistance. We go to the left, 884, continue to the left, 883.67. Then we have 884.49 twice. That is our level. 884.89 is that resistance level. To go long Tesla, you have to get above 884.89 on this short term, but I'm going to show you what's going to happen. 84.89. We're going to go down to the 5-minute chart, and we're going to look at the RSI. When you're down with the RSI on Tesla, you don't go long Tesla until the RSI finally falls below 30. That means oversold. So like, let's say you were about to get in over here. It was right there and you liked it, it looked pretty good. You want to go long. You can make some money. It'll pull back and find a little push, and it respected a double top right here, levels of resistance. But when I go long, I need this thing to dip down below 30 on my 5-minute chart. That's letting me know that it's flushing out all that little riffraff. Like when you buy in early in the day, you're going to get a push up and it's going to run into a level of resistance a lot of times, unless it's just going to keep going. But a lot of times it does that, and then it will come back and try to retest the breakout area a lot of times. And then there will be a second entry unless that continue, unless when it retests, it doesn't stay there, it just continues down. So I can't explain it to you right now. It takes a little bit more time. But what we're looking at, guys, I want to let Tesla shake out in the morning, and my entry for Tesla would be above 884.89. I can't now. I'm thinking it might start off in the 860s, but this is going to be, I mean, if it came down and found support, you might try to come in and trade it, but that's very risky. I want to get above previous levels. I want to get above those previous levels, so that's going to be my entry. But the real play for me is the copycat play, the poor man's Tesla play. It was ARK, but now it's NIO. NIO and Tesla are kind of running uh, lockstep somewhat. Let's go. And ARK is still, I mean, ARK is heavily weighted Tesla, so it trends with Tesla, but NIO is doing the same thing. And we're going to look at those options on NIO in 1 second. Um, let's go to the daily chart with NIO, guys. I like NIO, and I know quite a few of you guys are in it. Uh, in NIO, I'm holding a NIO. What am I in? February 19th, $60 call on NIO. So let's just go to that. But there's some really good possibilities with NIO, short term and long term, guys. So establish your time horizon. Decide before you get in. Hey, this is going to be a swing trade, or this is going to be a long term buy and hold. You have to establish that right away. Okay, let's go to the week. This is how we walk through it. The week is outstanding, but where are we? We're above 70 on the RSI, right? So the weekly is overbought, but you can remain in overbought status for an extended period of time. It doesn't have to just be like one day and you go short. You see, it's being overbought for several weeks. All right, but that was a bull flag of bull flags. With just power move. Let me put the volume on here. And guys, pay attention to volume. Keep eyes on volume, because we just need to know, is money leaving or money going? But this week, it's rising on increasing volume. So there's a chance to keep running with NIO, guys. Okay, let's go with this next one. Had a gap up, but what I do like, had great volume to close out the week, and we weren't overbought. We were sniffing it, but we had a great run. So I'm bullish NIO. We need to find that entry right now. Really, the entry on the daily chart is anything above, continuation above this, but above this Friday's close, or Friday's high, which was 59.31. But let's dig a little bit deeper. Let's go to the 4-hour. All right. It's overbought on the 4-hour, which means it could pull back a little bit. And what's the high? Of course, that was 59.31. We might get a pullback because might get the rollover. Previous high over here. You always look to the left, guys. 58.81 was a level of resistance. I'm trying to get it there. I'm gonna put that at 84. All right, we'll go resistance 58.84. Okay, we had a great, that's a tight bull channel. A lot of times when you get a tight bull, even pre-market and after hours, get a tight bull channel, you might get a pullback, but a lot of times you get a continuation. We're still running from what day was that? The 29th of December. So I mean, even 2020 couldn't stop it. Yeah, that joke didn't hit that well. But anyway, I like this setup, man. And I'm really, I'm a Tesla bull, and I cut hard for Tesla. But NIO is sneaking up on me, and I've been kind of very cautious with the Chinese ADRs because the 45's administration was delisting a lot of those companies, uh, possibly rightfully so. I don't know. But look, guys, here we go. We're on the hourly, extended overbought a little bit. Mm, if it pulls back, guys, if we can get above these levels right here, what's that previous high? That's that 59.31 area. If we get above that 59.31, that's go time. Now, you look at it preferably with NIO, like NIO, let me put it on like the 5 minute chart. I'm gonna show you a 15-minute chart actually. We can wait until after afternoon, like after 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern. A lot of people don't know the time zones. I'm starting to notice that. But so East Coast time, 1:45. So if you live in New Orleans, 12:45. If you live in Naptown, Chi-Town is Central time. So point I'm making, guys, we don't want to. We want to let this establish a trend tomorrow. We don't want to go in during the morning. You want to let lunchtime is 11 a.m. Central to 12 a.m. Central, or 12 p.m. Eastern to 1 p.m. Let's And it usually has low volume during that time. Then you want to make sure to find out, okay, this thing may be trending, or this thing by that time it may have run away. But a lot of times that first trend will fail. And then within the last part of the day, you'll catch another trend. That's what we're looking for. So tomorrow we're looking for it to be on the backside of lunch. So we're going to go after, let's go after 12:30 Central. That we look for that entry. We want to look for the entry above 59.31. You can look for it on on a 15-minute chart, a 30-minute chart. I trade off the 5 minute, but if you look on a 30-minute chart, you can see you want it to break above that. So if the candle closes above that 59.31, we're good to go. And a lot of times, I'd like to make sure my RSI on the time frame I'm trading is below 70, because you don't want to get in it and it's overbought, and it corrects that day. So we want to make sure we're below 70. So you want it less than 70 if we're going long. So let's look at the options chain real quick for NIO. This is Think or Swim, guys, on TD Ameritrade. And I'm in it right now, showing it at the bottom of the screen. I don't like when it just pops up and put my business out there, but it is what it is. I'm in that call February 21st. Up little 43 bucks right now. It was a cheap call. I think I got two of them, but we don't really want to trade front month, and a front month means the expiration month. So we're expiring in January. So it's 5 days to expiration. Yeah, we can trade it. Prices are going to be pretty good. 55 bucks plus 661. It's going to try to, that $61 handle is the area that it's going to try to get to. This 60 is nice. This 60 is nice. So, okay, guys, here's the first one. It's short-term play, guys. This is day trade, January 15th. Strike, the $60 strike, $60 call. Look at the open interest. We have 47,209 open interest, 88,000 volume from last Friday. Delta falls right in line for what I like. if you want to go in the money on this, you can go a little bit higher up, 59, even really right here, guys. If you if you want a safer play, the safest play in the January, one of the safer plays for me in this January expiration, January 15th monthly, is the $55 call. There are quite a few reasons. Stronger delta, a little bit higher open interest, volume is strong. It's not as heavy as that. But now, guys, the implied volatility is really high. So we don't want to hold this long. You want to make this a day trade. If you get in the afternoon, like around 12:45, and maybe you could hold it overnight. We want to make sure, but I think there's going to be momentum. There's probably momentum from battery day, but we don't know how it's going to, you don't know how it's going to play out. But if it gets above that level of that 59.31, we're going to have some good momentum and some good, hopefully some good carry and good follow through. If it doesn't get above that, guys, now I'm not saying if you want it long term, you get it long term. That's what you do. You hop in, buy it long term, and you don't worry about the short term ebbs and flows. You just establish, like, look, I'm keeping NIO for the next 5 years, next 10 years, next 20 years, because I'm gonna lead into this, guys. EV sector. We're just we're first inning, man. We're at the shoreline. We're like early adopters because the headwind previously were the legacy automakers, the internal combustion engine guys. They killed the electric car many years ago. Now those headwinds are out of the way, but also we're going to see with this new administration, they put out their plan um, to go strong with green energy. By 2030, they were looking at for 100% participation in electric vehicles. California, by 2025, they have a mandate that they want new cars and trucks to be fully electric. So the mandate for a long term, the bullish play for a long term buy and hold is very, very positive. Um, Everybody's moving to green energy, renewable energy. Um, the long term buy and hold is where it is. We did this report right here. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Mo Jackson and I did the most recent our stock scouting report, electric vehicles, and we dove. 22 pages of picks, and just like, okay, this is what we need to focus on over the next 1 to 3 years, and um, I just believe this sector is like it's taken the place of the cannabis sector, but cannabis also has a chance to make a move. But the only issue with cannabis is that it's still that is it the Schedule 1, Schedule C felony that lists. They match it up with heroin. So, but this administration is the one that has a chance to get us in line because solar, clean energy, green energy, electric vehicles, and the Biden Harris they're like first 100 days of their plan, they mention electric vehicles. So that bodes well for Tesla, NIO, Plug. Uh, Write these two down: Solo, SOLO, and FUV. FUV is Archimoto. Solo and FUV are smaller cap, um, the smaller cap niche EV guys. So that's just something to research. Look, Plug Power, Blink. I'm not. We just know a lot of these tan. Yeah, people are talking about that. Uh, it's going to fall right into that category of that clean energy. But you have to do that due diligence, guys, because you're going to have to vet the EV sector. EV sector is, and that's why we did the report. Did I put the screen back up? Okay, we did the report to vet the sector for whoever wanted it, and defined tradable ideas, things like that. So there's going to be companies that aren't going to make it, and the people say, "Oh, it's a bubble." And it's just going to have the ones that the cream will rise to the top. Tesla's going to absorb quite a few of them. When I watch NIO, I like their CEO. I like his energy. That doesn't mean that it's a great investment, but I'm feeling, I was kind of slow to the party with NIO from a long-term buy and hold, but let's go with the next option. I'm seeing a lot of love. It's a little extended, so we're going to have a pullback, but we can trade it over the short term um, to catch a move. Now, these are a little bit inflated. Let me show you this. Okay, put to call ratio. Look at this, man. 1.1 million calls, which means bullish. They're thinking it's going. They're saying everybody's making the bet that it's going up, compared to 390,000 shorts. Let's buy this month. Let's buy it. You know. So This is what I'm in. I'm in the 60. I'm in the February 19th $60 call. It's a little bit pricey. My IV is a little bit less. The one, ah, you got 40 days to expiration. The very limit that you can go out to is that $70 call. But I prefer these two, 65 and a 60. That's my recommendation. And if you had got a little bit more in that piggy bank, you go with one of these two. So anywhere between the 50 and the 65, those are buys. Um, I'm in the 60, of course, February 19th, and that's still my recommendation. That's 60. But if you have a little bit extra money, this is called going in the money. You're going in the money a little bit more, and you see the strike is 50, and the premium is like 12.70. So we add 12.70, or just add $12 to that 50, and we're looking at $62. That's where the idea of where the making a bet that stock price is going to go, a couple of bucks up there. I think NIO has a chance to run. Let's go to the daily, guys, because I like that gap, but we need to get above. Let's get above that level, um, at 59.31, because this is a bull flag consolidation. It has passed. I mean, it gapped above the previous high with volume. Even if it pulls back a little bit, guys, if you just like it so much and you get in, make sure. And okay, we got the news catalyst we're looking for on Bloomberg TV right now. NIO just, well, I'm sure it probably happened a couple of days ago, but NIO launches first self-driving car, and then they have their battery swap going. So I was listening to Mike Bellafiore. He's a trader, that big time prop firm trader, $1 million trader up in New York, and he says one of the things that you want to get, um, you kind of trade an edge. You want to find your edge, but you want to find something that's going to move you. And a lot of times it's going to be a news catalyst along with your setup and along with momentum, or the entire market. But the news catalysts are the ones that kind of can give you the volatility in the options market. And they had battery day last week. They just mentioned they're going to drop some stuff with the self-driving. NIO is the pick for the week, guys. That's the pick over Tesla. Tesla, I'm gonna tell you where I think Tesla's gonna go. I mean, Tesla can probably run to $1,100. Who knows? But it's just I don't feel comfortable right now with Tesla. Um, I made a nice run. A lot of people made nice runs in the Telegram group with that. But move at your own risk, guys. Because here's what I think is gonna happen to Tesla. We have This thing is going straight up, which is cool, but it's got to pull back. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, let me say it like this: the probability of it pulling back is starting to increase. I'm not saying it's going to go back down here, but there's a big time gap at 412.45. I'm not saying Tesla's going to come down and take half of this money off the table. This gap may be forgotten, but I always mark up a gap that kind of just keeps my mind. That's the only gap that was there until it started gapping up right there. So a lot of times we can come back and see Tesla every so often will do. I mean, that was COVID. No, that wasn't even Rona. That wouldn't Tesla went from what's the high right there? 500 down to 329 over a month period. 500, 329. So it can do that, and people will take profit, sell it off, and then buying pressure can come back in and run that thing up. But it may take the consolidation of a wedge pattern. It might take several weeks to a couple of months. So be cautious. I'm thinking we're going to get some earnings. We might get a run up at earnings and then a sell off and coming back down into the 699 areas, filling these gaps. I can't predict that price. I don't feel comfortable making a call on Tesla NIOs to play for this week. Let's go over here real quick to ARK. ARK is in that same boat. It's extended. And guys, look up the word DOJI, Doji. Doji candle setting up, but it doesn't mean it's going to pull back, but this is letting me know indecision. Now, if Tesla runs and Roku runs, ARK gonna bust out because this is a bullish. When you go up on increasing volume, that's bullish. So I'm just kind of keeping my eye on ARK as well. Let me give you, before we wrap, the bull case. I gave you the bull case and the catalyst for NIO. It's the shiny object, and it's the reasonably priced shiny object in the same sector within Tesla. Tesla is the one that's like Bitcoin. Bitcoin raises all the altcoins. When Bitcoin blasts off, the altcoins kind of get caught in that tailwind, and it pulls them up. It raises the ocean's level. Tesla has a chance to do that. We have a new administration. I just think this is the week for NIO. Tesla, I can't read the tea leaves on that chart, man, because I think it's extended. But if 884.89 gets above that, yeah. But those are some pricey options to not have for me to be saying, yeah. I can't make that call. I can't call it, bro. So the next one, Biden Harris blue wave. That Georgia election was huge, getting the Senate. So the legislation will be able to get through if they make a move a little bit easier. There's no headwinds. Now Tesla may be a play, guys, for a risk. It's a gamble, but you could do an earnings lotto play, and you don't want to risk a lot. But a lot of times you could risk an out of the money call. I think Keisha used to do that in our group, and she would hit. She would be out of. She wouldn't spend much money at all, and then, you risk whatever, and come back with a 10 bagger. That kind of thing. So find out when earnings. They're going to announce earnings. I think it's the 27th of February 2nd. It's not official yet, but be cautious. The shorts. The only thing about Tesla that's letting me know in my mind that I can't just fully walk away from not making a trade because there's a lot of shorts panicking. The short squeeze is on, but also these fund managers, because it was added to the S&P inclusion, it boosted it. They had to buy. No one's selling. There's no sellers. There's a lack of supply because nobody is selling Tesla shares, but the demand is outstandingly high right now. But there's there's other S&P funds or tracking funds that are still, they're saying that they're still trying to get their shares to get in place. That's why it continues to go up. And the higher it goes, the larger the market cap, the other funds have to continue to buy shares to be in due bounds or be in alignment with the S&P rules for them to claim to be an S&P tracking fund or whatever. So as it goes higher, the other funds have to buy, and it's like it's pushing that price up. Now it's going to pop, but it might pop after 900. Uh, I'll give y'all one. That's that push there. Okay, let's measure it. We're gonna measure this like we're gonna do a Larry Williams 1-to-1. Bam. And this is kind of rough, rudimentary. Duplicate that. It's extended. I need to go to the 4 hour. I'm almost done, guys. I'm not gonna have y'all all night. I'm sorry. I just want to. That's that push right there too. I'm duplicating this drawing. I'm gonna be a little bit conservative on that price level. Lowering that down. All right, let's see what this is. 968.26. I'm not saying it's going there. Not saying it's going there. And I almost shouldn't have even done that, man, because it's going to be in the back of my mind. And if we break above that 884.89, 968, but also think about Tesla, it could sell off and it could dump for 3 days. So you don't enter until it breaks above that high over there, okay? Are you telling Tesla when it drops to collect profit and rebuying? Uh, like Keyshawn said, Kathy Wood of ARK Invest, they took profit last week, you know. So that's one of the things for them that they hit their parameters and they had their risk reward in place and their profit target. I still think there's a little bit of room for it to be stretched, but it's time. It might pull back at the open and double bottom on the RSI and run. So I'm watching that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep watching it, and I might play it, but when I do that and it's not above that certain level at 834, it's gonna bite me. But 834.91, no, 884.89 is gonna be my area. So, but I'm not. When you say selling Tesla, Brenda, if I own shares and I have a core position, if I'm in it, because I was in it 414, I got people are not selling their shares. I wouldn't, if you're doing it for the long term. Now, if you're trading it, yeah, you get out and try to get back in. That you're making a play within a range. But if you have the stock, there's I wouldn't sell those shares. TD Ameritrade owes me mine, but you can trade it. But I'm waiting for Tesla. I'm looking for another entry into Tesla, but I think it's going to come after earnings. I think we're going to have a sell off after earnings. We might have a short term sell off up, in a range going into earnings. But there's a strategy, guys, that you can run with. It's a 14-day prior to earnings strategy. It's earnings. Let's say earnings was on the 27th. So middle of the week, this coming week, what would the date be like? I don't know, the 13th, you could get in, but the idea is you get in after a sell-off, and the 14 days we're trying to catch the momentum as it moves up. I'm always beefing with TD, man, with that. I hadn't gotten over that Tesla thing. I gotta live with it, bro. But you want to ride it up. The idea is you're gonna play the implied volatility because it's gonna be all the energy and the excitement heading into earnings is gonna be the big push. And then there's something called the IB crush, and the IB crush happens at earnings and after. But you want to play it 14 days prior to, or even 7 days. So, but it's kind of pricey, and you just need to kind of be risk. Just have to have your risk parameters in place, guys. Uh, the last couple things I wanted to mention is a sticky entry on Tesla, climactic weekly candle. These are my warning signs. Market uncertainty, amazingly extended run. Um, the bullish side, the catalyst, the analyst upgrades. The analysts are going to, they're like monkey see, monkey do. Oh, Goldman upgraded this, RBG upgraded this, and they're going to start falling in line. So there might be a couple of days of a push, but we need to just kind of watch it. Look, guys, I'm opening up the trading room tomorrow. I'll have it open at 7:30 a.m. Central, y'all. The same Zoom channel, same password, all that good stuff. Come on in. Let's see what happens. But there's limited sellers, low supply, high demand. That's bullish. Fear of missing out. There's a last little, the usher board. I think I heard the deaconesses were talking about they were going to put some money together to get them one share of Tesla. Sister Jenkins said she was going to get her one, and her her grandbaby said he can do it on Robinhood. They can get the fractional shares, and so she said she's not going to go in with the deaconesses, but uh, it's she, she she's a wildcat. But anyway, guys, look, we're going with Neo. That's the flow. That's all I have for today. I'm trying to make sure. I wanted to see if I had something else. Be careful with Boeing. In phase, I closed out that trade. That's a wrap. In phase. It was an S&P inclusion. It followed suit right behind Tesla, but it didn't. It didn't have the type of market cap, but it did move. Got that. We got some money. I know quite a few people in the Telegram group got a nice bit of money, but Enphase is setting up, guys, for another push. Good Lord. I didn't mean to say it like that, Lord. Okay, it's going to pull back. Let's see. The entry would be above two. No, nah, it's not. It's too much space to get in there. It's going to be too tough. We'll hold off on Enphase. So Neo, that's really my play. The short play on Boeing. I know some other folks in there. You guys have some calls on some different plays, but that's gonna be. I'm short Nikola, man. I'm kind of just. I'm gonna make that happen. I'm gonna make that happen. But look, email me if you have questions. Mo and I are gonna. We said we're gonna do another charting course. I have to go to spring training pretty soon, not soon, but it's coming, and I won't have a lot of time with the family. So we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do a charting course, guys. If you're interested, email me. Oh, NVDA, good call, Keyshawn. Yeah, NVIDIA is setting up for. Let me put that up there. Um, it's gonna be January. See, the 20. It's gonna be tentatively the 24th and the 25th will be the two classroom days. That would be a Sunday and a Monday, and there would be a bonus day in the market on the 26th where we can try to. The idea is to get you guys in the market and find a good chart for you to mark up and trade. Uh, You're a mobile trader. Well, email me if you want to know about the charting class or the Telegram group. The Telegram group, I keep it at a fairly low number. So if I send you the invite, it'll just be for that day, and we'll close it back off. But we good information in there. But I appreciate y'all coming out. Let me send one more thing to you. This will be for the most recent stock scouting report on electric vehicles, guys. If you don't have a feel for, I mean, the market itself, or you're looking for new ideas, or you're looking for entries into this market, into EVs, that's what we mapped it out for. And so this will be something for you. I'm putting it in the chat real quick. Okay, yeah, guys. Workhorse. I'm a fan of Workhorse. I just hadn't. Let me see. I'll look at a couple of charts before I get out of here. NVIDIA is coiling strongly. This is what a coil looks like, guys. That's a tight bull channel, breakout, pull back, trying to break above previous. It couldn't get above that high over there. Sold off again, found support, double top, and then it consolidated. So what you have right now is like a coiling action in a tight trading range, guys. I don't want to go down to I can go to the bottom of that. You don't want to buy at the top of this range. You want to buy at the bottom of this range if it doesn't breach. Now, when NVIDIA finally breaks above the high of 549.25, it's going to break out and it's going to come back and retest. It's going to break out and you might think, oh, it's buy more. Well, I mean, if you're going long term, yeah. A lot of times those breakouts, they retest, they fail. But we're in a trading range right now, so it's like share accumulation, but you buy at the bottom of ranges, sell at the top until it tells you otherwise. But I like how NVIDIA looks for a long-term play and possible trade. There's no entry just yet. Workhorse. Yeah, Workhorse is choppy to me. We have lower highs right now. Had a bearish candle on Friday. That's the breakout. It's a similar breakout to NVIDIA, and it looks like it may be coming back to retest. It's not a trade for me right now, and I don't know enough about Workhorse for me to just say, hey, it's a buy and hold. That chart is choppy for me. I can't. I like the weekly, but when I start seeing wicks on top, I start noticing a little weakness and concerns. But I mean, it still has volume coming in. Let me check one thing with the news. Then I'm gonna have to go get with the family. Will Workhorse or Electromagnetica as solo stock grow by 2022? Okay, which one? We surveyed a group of over 8, but who cares what y'all did? Workhorse designs, manufactures, builds, and sells battery electric. Okay, the sector is gonna, long term. If you like Workhorse, you are the expert. That's Brenda, I think. You become the expert in your household in Workhorse by continuing to research. And I can't tell you don't buy Workhorse. I don't have any other proprietary information that's going to tell me to tell you not to buy it, because obviously it's a stock you like. You have a feel for it. So dig deeper and keep. And if you like it, if you have establish your thesis and your reasoning behind it, and run with it, but establish your investment time horizon, so where if there's some negative drawdowns, you won't come into the play and panic and, like what I do now. It doesn't seem like you would do that, because you wouldn't just pull workhorse out. You would have said genius. you know I mean, I get on genius kind of hard, but um other than that, let's see. Well, guys, look, I'm gonna wrap this up. My email's in the chat. Uh, the landing page for the stock scouting report on electric vehicle is in there. So whatever you need, I'll be in here 7:30 tomorrow morning Central. I'm gonna get a little music going and try to make some money. So Neo's the run, guys. We're gonna try to make some money off Neo. Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate it.